Hey, welcome to, what's the show called? Did you watch Survivor last night? My name's Jake
We're already
Scheidel.
off to such a good start.
Oh, yeah, it's great. You would think that I wouldn't need my notes to, recite the same 3 sentences I do every week. But I do. I need those notes, and I was looking at the wrong window in my computer. Hello, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? My name's a big dummy, Jake Scheidel. This is a podcast about reality TV and friendship. Thomas is just covering his face in embarrassment right now. I'm so sorry. Each week I talk about a certain reality television show with my best friend, the very embarrassed Thomas Powell. Hey, Thomas, how you doing?
Thomas Powell, smiling politely.
So I've got a question for you, my man. Did you watch Survivor last night?
Yes, I did.
Good. So I just realized that this is the 32nd episode of Did You Watch Survivor Last Night. It's also the 32nd
It's over,
season
guys. It was 30 seconds
of
long.
Survivor.
We're done.
It's 30 seconds long.
It's the whole. We actually.
We're
ran
already
long.
2 minutes into our briefest episode. This is the 32nd episode of us and the 32nd season of Survivor, the CBS reality series. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so this week's episode was called I'm Not Here to Make Good Friends, which is a quote from Ty, and also the best episode title and quote in the history of the show. That was pretty good, I gotta be honest. It's a reference to a very common phrase from this show. It's kind of been, but then it's like, he turns it on its head, kind of, He's like, hey, still want to I still want to make friends, but maybe not good friends,
Yeah. Maybe not like besties, but some
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, I'll do that.
BFFs? I don't know. BFs? Maybe.
Maybe not like the friends on the show Friends.
Yeah.
But like.
Maybe
So-
like the friends in, like, Recess. Do you think they're still hanging out? Probably not.
Well, yeah, they were children.
Yeah. I mean, you are the only person I talk to from when I was that age,
Wow.
for the most part. I mean,
Can't
look,
believe,
I'll-
can't believe I haven't successfully weeded you out of my life yet.
I know. We probably shouldn't have started a podcast together.
Fucking TJ ass bitch. TJ from Recess.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about TJ Lavin, and I was like, I do not make the connection. So this episode starts with Scott and his alliance really excited about tribal council. One might say they're confident.
Very confident.
Ty gives his idol back to Jason and says he wants to extend an olive branch to the rest of the tribe. So Scott goes out and tells them that he didn't want to be that guy. Well, sucks to suck, Scott. You did that shit, and now people hate you. So
Well, I like when he's talking to Aubrey and attempting to extend an olive branch, and it just comes off as this weird, threatening,
yeah,
almost like tantrum.
yeah.
In a very like calm, controlled way,
It,
where he says, "We did this to send a message that we are the providers, but everything can go back to normal as long as you do exactly everything that we say."
Yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
it's like things would be back to normal if he was gone. Not Sydney's not causing any trouble. I mean,
No, Sydney betrayed them, Jake, for no reason.
well, get used to it, Scott. Trick.
I like that Aubrey, when she listens to him, is just sort of nodding politely.
Mhm.
The first thing that she says, and they don't even show what else she says, is, "Well, this is a lot to hear, like, with you coming to me in the morning.
Yeah.
This is a lot to process right now." But then when they cut to her talking head, she changes her tune, and it's just like, wow, this is he has a lot of fucking nerve.
Yeah.
Basically. And I'll play nice to their face.
Right.
But I have no interest in playing
Yeah.
ball with him or anyone else in that.
It's like I'll let them think that, but no, absolutely not. So then they get to the reward challenge. Hey, it's another balance challenge. Know how much you love these.
It's all they fucking do anymore. Just give them to Ty. That's the thing that kills me. Like, hey Ty, want another thing? Sure.
All right. So they have to place a foot on the beam that has 2 ceramic pots on the end. You don't drop the pots. That's it. That's the whole reward challenge. They get to choose which reward they want, either food, letters from home, or an advantage in the game. Smart move to go for that advantage, I'd say.
But there is a twist.
Yes.
And that is that you are competing against only the people that chose the same reward as you.
Mm-hmm.
So if no one chooses one of the less, advantageous rewards, or only one, in the case of Julia, when only one other person chooses it, and it's Joe.
How great would that have been if no one else picked the same thing you did?
You just got it.
I guess I get the food. All right, thanks, guys. And then they just, eat ribs on the side. Oh, these ribs are so good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super glad I don't have to balance some pots and just eat these ribs. What a great day for me.
Unsurprisingly, Scott and Jason both chose food because
They're
confident
big
enough
boys.
that they don't think they need an advantage, and there's some big boys, and there's a bacon cheeseburger and some fries on the line. But,
Yeah, big American boys.
Big ol' American males. They're the new incarnation of the WCW tag team American males. Aubrey, Ty, and Sydney. Was that everyone that chose?
That was everybody who chose the advantage. Scott, Jason, and Michelle went for food, and then, as you already said, Julie and Joe went for the letter. Which, that makes sense for both of them. I understand why everybody who went for the advantage, because they're the 3 best players in the game still.
Yep.
So, Joe falls, within the first couple minutes, so Julia wins her letter. Very nice. Then Scott falls, and then soon after that, Jason falls, so Michelle wins that bacon cheese beager. Beager? Why did I pronounce it like that? That cheese beager.
I did like that during the remaining sort of duration of the challenge, they would occasionally come back to Michelle just tearing into that burger.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
It looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So then Sydney falls, boo-hoo. Aubrey says that she is sticking this out to prove that she can, and then she falls. So Ty wins the advantage.
Ty barely beats her. I think Ty was starting to lose his balance when hers falls.
Yeah, but you know what? That happened the same thing with him and Sydney a couple episodes ago, and he beat her out. So
he has superhuman concentration and balance, and
I think he probably meditates a lot.
I'm sure he does. I was pissed though because Ty doesn't need another advantage, and Aubrey desperately needed an advantage, and so I was mad enough that I shouted "God damn it" really loudly at 4 in the morning when I was watching this last night. Fortunately, I think two of my roommates were still up and hanging out, so it wasn't like I was waking anybody up. But I was.
Did they check in on you when you you screamed like that?
No, I told them I was going to be watching Survivor, so they knew. But
they're like, all right, get ready for some yelling.
They were like, wow, man, I guess Ty won that reward challenge. But yeah, I forgot myself for a second. I lost track of my surroundings. I was so mad.
I don't know why. I just feel more emotionally invested this season than ever in any past seasons. I
loved last season, and I really liked a lot of the people on it. But yeah, I'm more invested in Aubrey and Sydney.
Do you know how many professional golfer fist pumps I've given to this show when something goes the way I want it?
Oh, my anxiety was killing me this entire episode.
Yeah.
Because things kept getting worse, and part of me thought, this is just, there's a good chance that this is well edited, but there's also a chance that they legitimately did this legitimately is an alliance just consolidating power, and
Yeah.
it was killing me. But I mean, last season I really liked Jeremy, but I don't think I was entirely invested in him until like the last 6 or 7 weeks. Um, I like
6 or 7 episodes. I would say even less time than that. Like when
Yeah.
it got down to like final 5 or 6 people,
There was
I was
point-
like, all right, Jeremy.
I think
I'm gunning for Jeremy.
The point where I was all in with Jeremy was when he played the idol for Fishbach. I think from that point onward, he played really well. He had the second. That was the week that he found the second idol.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that was the point where everything sort of came together for him, and the competition was starting to get weeded out enough that it was good. It was obvious that it was going to be him or Spencer probably, and so I was much more invested in him. And Fishbach was my second favorite, and he got voted out. So
Yeah. The thing with this show is that, like, the details of it are all but lost on me as soon as the season is over. It's like, oh yeah, I remember who won, and I'll remember any, like, really big moves or, like, really good stories that they tell throughout the season. But, like, when someone played an idol for someone else or anything like that, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I kind of remember that happening.
Well, you have a lot more conflicting information. You know,
That's true.
I have one full season of Survivor to access in my memory, and you have just a bunch of it, and I'm sure that all runs together at a certain point.
It does, kind of, yeah. I'm like, when was Sam Lundell, sir? When was Karamoan? When was Fans versus Favorites? Who was on which season? Oh, this person was on 4 seasons? Okay. Boston Rob.
Yeah, Frankie
and
Valli.
Rupert. Frankie Valli.
And the 4 seasons.
He was actually on 4 seasons of Survivor, but he got voted out first every single time.
It's weird.
Terrible, terrible record for Frankie Valli.
You know what they say, big girls don't cry.
So where were we? Scott says that since Sydney didn't win that advantage, she is out of here. Pretty confident about that, huh, Scott?
Yeah.
Pretty confident Sydney's going home.
They also committed to that for all of, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah. They are, I don't know. They're bad. They are worse at this game than they appear to be.
It kept getting worse because shortly after this is when Aubrey goes over to Ty and talks to him, right?
That happens after the reward challenge, I believe.
Well, I think she talks to him once and then comes back and talks to him again.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Remember exactly the order that all happened in.
Regardless of when it happens, they eventually pivot to saying they're going to vote out Aubrey for almost no reason other than that Ty talked to her. And they're like, oh, she won't see it coming. We're just doing it just to be dicks.
Yep. So they get back to camp. Michelle says that she's worried about Ty. See? Michelle, good player. She doesn't get enough screen time, but she is good. Ty opens his advantage, and it's an extra vote, which is very powerful already. Even more powerful when you have an idol in your pocket.
And you're a potential super idol.
And a potential super idol, and are really good in challenges. So Ty is sitting too pretty to win this game at this point. He's got too much going for him for him to win out.
Yeah, he's a target.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to try to vote him out every single tribal council from here on out for him to not make it to the final 3. Julia says that her game's been a roller coaster and that she needs to make a big move. Okay. She says she wants to remain loyal to Jason and Scott, but also wants to flush their idol. You can't have both, Julia. Love you, but that's going to be real hard to do. Aubrey says that Julia is duplicitous, but is playing a good game, and I can respect that. I like Aubrey.
Aubrey has the exact right opinion on Julia.
Yep. I love any player that's like, hey, you seem to be my rival at this point. but god damn, you're good.
Yeah, there should
so
be.
I gotta like vote for you to win.
There should be a mutual respect. That's something I
Yeah,
like, as opposed to just an
with those
emotional,
two,
I hate you because you're playing the game the way that you're supposed to play.
which is what Scott and Jason's whole game plan is. Aubrey goes to get water with Ty, and then they talk about how emotionally difficult this game is. Ty says that he likes Aubrey, and Aubrey is like, hey, what if we took out Julia? And then Ty goes to Scott and Jason with this really good plan that would be beneficial to everyone else still in the game because you can't trust this person. He says, hey, what if we took out Julia? And Scott suggests taking out Aubrey. Just like as a power move.
He suggests it, and then Jason, of course, immediately agrees, is super on board,
Yeah.
and so that's what they're gonna do now.
Yeah, what a couple of dummies. Ty says in a talking head that he feels he gets no respect in this alliance. Good move, Ty. Typher. That's not a real name.
TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Thomas, got some breaking news.
Oh my god. We go now live. Beep, 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 beep.
It's time for Real World Roundup.
Roundup.
There's no Real World this week because they just played a bunch of Prince stuff on Thursday when they normally would have played Real World. So, no Real World.
Well, I guess next week they're going to have to round up 2 episodes. Yeah, you like that?
Okay. That was pretty good. I mean, it was dumb. It was real dumb, but I enjoyed it.
You know who I think would have really liked that? Prince.
Prince. What doesn't Prince really like? Right? No, there's a lot of stuff
Not
he
being
doesn't
a
like.
Jehovah's
He was
Witness.
like notorious. Yeah, he was notorious for not liking things. But God, he was good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that guy. I like when he like. I still couldn't. I had the same reaction I did when I heard Bowie died. It was like, but how? But no, that can't happen.
Yeah, that was kind of my reaction too. It was like, I wasn't aware that he can die.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem right.
Like it never even dawned on me that we would ever lose him.
Especially not now at 57.
Yeah. Like, and it made me realize I never got into him as much as I should have. Like, I'm familiar with all of
I'm
his
right there
big
with you.
stuff.
The only albums I've ever...
And it's just like, fuck. I wish I was into him as much as I had been into Bowie before he died.
I think it would have hit,
Like, I loved
think it would have hit
Bowie.
me harder, because I've only ever really listened to, Sign of the Times and Purple Rain, which are the two pretty default Prince albums to have listened to. Oh,
Yeah.
and also, of course, the song Bat Dance. That was
Of
I
course.
think, my favorite thing to come out of this was just... The first thing Scott Aukerman posted after it was just a photo of the song, like the Batman logo with the word Bat Dance under it.
Yes. I watched Batman, the one that he does the soundtrack on, last night. One, not as good as I thought it would be. Two, I thought Prince appeared in that movie. I thought he had a cameo in that movie.
No.
But he
There's
doesn't.
a music video
He just
where
plays...
he is involved with some stuff.
See, I confused that with the entire 2-hour and 8-minute movie. So that's what I watched last night instead of a music video.
You watched a pretty decent
It's decent,
movie.
yeah. It's decent.
I watched the Disney Channel original movie Brink, the inline skating movie, which features, there's a bunch of scenes where there's just generic, like, fair use ska playing in the background, just constantly.
Of course.
Which makes
Of
sense
course there
because
is.
I think there was a point, probably around 1997, where both of those things for probably about 4 or 5 months were considered socially acceptable, and then went back to being the lamest thing in existence.
And then, 15 years later, one of those things somewhat came back, and the other, I guess inline skating is back in style now, which is cool.
What?
Yeah, I see a lot of people skating now.
Okay, but inline skating in like a extreme
In like an extreme sports kind of way.
context?
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know. I've got to imagine that's still a competition in, like, the X Games, right? Or did they get rid of that
It's one of
after
the ones
2000?
they don't televise. No one wants to see this.
It's the what's the Emmys called, or the Oscar, the technical
Yeah,
Emmys? It's like, yeah, we also had this other thing for these other people who aren't as pretty.
Yeah. We have this side one for these nerds. Some guys want some awards, I guess. Whatever. You don't care. Now
Yeah.
now back to the
Shaun White.
now back to half pipe competition. What's
Yeah.
Bob Burnquist doing?
Is he still around?
I don't know. Probably not. That's a 15-year-old reference.
That's all right. That's like the only skateboarder I know at this point is Shaun White, and I don't even know if he's skateboarding anymore.
He's more of a snowboarder, I think.
I thought he did both.
Oh, maybe he does.
I thought that was like his big
Oh
thing.
yeah,
was
because
like,
there was a while where they're like,
gotta-
"Oh man, he's the next Tony Hawk."
Tony Hawk never snowboarded though.
No. Yeah, Tony
So
Hawk's
he's
not
better
an
than Tony
Olympic
Hawk.
medalist. Tony Hawk. How
Yeah,
dare you?
Tony
How
Hawk, get
dare
outta here.
you have been compared to
Wait,
Shaun
so
White?
there's snowboarding in the Olympics.
It's in the Winter Olympics.
But there's not skateboarding.
No.
That's kind of fucked up.
The reason that there's not is because there's already so much stuff in the Summer Olympics that is more important and better than skateboarding. That
Fair enough.
whereas the Winter Olympics they need to pad that out.
Yeah. You can only have so many curling competitions.
Yeah, I mean, after ice dancing and like downhill skiing and hockey, it's pretty
And,
wide open.
And the biathlon.
Oh,
Yeah.
bobsled.
Bobsled. Yeah. What's the skeleton? Skeleton is
Fucking
fucking terrifying.
Oh man.
Oh my god. I like curling and skeleton are my two favorite Olympic events, and they both happen in the Winter Olympics. So I love the Winter Olympics.
Skeleton. All I can think is when I watch someone doing skeleton is that they're just going to hit a wall head first and completely.
Oh my god, it's
completely
so
compress
scary.
their neck and die.
It's like luge is already terrifying, and then you flip it on its head almost literally.
What if,
And you get skeleton,
what if we
it's
made
so
it-
scary.
Look, I like luge, but it's not unnecessarily dangerous enough. I just want to really put myself at risk for no real tangible difference.
It's got to be faster? Is it faster than regular
I think
luge?
it might be. I don't know.
It's just scarier. It's like, hey, basketball, really popular Olympic sport. What if we gave everyone swords?
Or like if they turn speed skating into speed skating roller derby. Where
Oh
those
my
guys were
God.
going at like however fast. They go really fast, right? They go like...
They go really fast, yeah. They go,
we're just, like,
yeah, probably 40
like
miles an hour
clotheslining
usually.
each other.
Okay, but honestly, I super want to see that
it's
now.
great. It's probably way too dangerous to do, but it sounds
Oh, and
awesome.
yeah, people would die constantly. It's like, who was that dude who got his throat slit in hockey in like the 80s or 90s?
Oh,
The goalie.
he didn't.
Somebody
he didn't
skate-
die. He
got up.
accidentally got his.
He didn't
throat
die,
cut.
but he.
I don't remember
Yeah,
who it
and
was. I
he
know.
like bled
I know
out
what
on
you're
the
talking.
skate on the ice.
Yeah, I know.
But it would be that constantly.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to have a lot of padding.
Yeah, it'd be like the modern day version of equivalent of like rollerball. You know, the fictional game Rollerball in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the. I'm not referencing the 2001 Chris Klein LL Cool J vehicle. I'm talking about the original James Caan one, but
Yeah. I watched recently. Death Race 2000 is like one of my favorite movies. That's such an awesome movie.
oh, did you watch the bad
I've
remake
never-
with Jason
I
Statham?
watched the bad remake. Well, I didn't watch it all the way through, but when I was home last weekend, I saw it was on, so I watched like 5 or 10 minutes of it, and I was like, "This is terrible. It's so bad." Like they had a perfect movie with Death Race 2000, and they just got rid of every good thing of that. We're like, what if it was like the worst racing video game, but worse than that still?
They did add one good thing to that, though.
Jason
Yes.
Statham. He's not a huge part. God, that movie is bad. Like, I know I just said this, but everything good that in Death Race 2000 is absent in Death Race. Although I heard the straight to DVD sequels are pretty good.
Really?
So now I'm gonna have to watch the. I mean, compared to Death Race, it's they're decent. But God, no, nothing compares to you, Sinead O'Connor, written by Prince.
Death Race 2000 is actually the name of my Power Man 5000 tribute band.
That movie is so good. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Dude, you gotta watch it. It's funny and action packed, and there's good social commentary behind it.
Okay,
I would suggest
I will
it.
watch that, and you should watch the original James
Brink?
Gunn. Well, no, I was gonna say Rollerball.
I do need to watch
yeah,
that.
it's good.
Yeah,
You should check that out, and then we can convene
Yeah.
back here and say what we thought.
yeah. Well, I'll get on that at
Also,
some point.
watch Brink.
Yeah, will do, dude. I just watched 21 Jump Street, the Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum one. I would just watch the first one that came out like 4 or 5
It's
years
good.
ago. It might be a while before I see Rollerball. Just throwing that out there.
Oh man, you haven't even gotten 22 Jump Street or the upcoming Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover movie.
23, Men in Black 23, which is not going to star Tommy Lee Jones or
Michael Jordan.
Will Smith.
Stars Michael Jordan.
I hope so. Do you want to get into this immunity challenge since we went off on a super long tangent about the Olympics?
We never do that.
No. So the immunity. This one was actually kind of cool. Another balancing thing with ceramic pots. They have to hold on to some discs that with their fingertips, and then those discs are holding on to some pots.
It looked like,
That's
honestly, the way that this looked was like Jeff was imprisoning a bunch of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And they had their arms, completely splayed out to their sides, and instead of, I know they were just pushing those little plates up against the side with their fingertips, but it looks like they're locked up, and Jeff is like, no one will interfere with my secret plan now that I have captured the entire Justice League.
I did think it looked like that scene in The Incredibles.
Yeah.
When Syndrome has all of them.
That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yeah. So Joe is the first one to fall out again. I'm starting to wonder if that's a strategy, because that's like 3 or 4 challenges in a row when he just loses immediately. I wonder if that's a strategy, like, oh, I'm not a threat, I'm just a 72-year-old man. But,
I would like to think that was...
Because he wasn't this weak before the merge. He was competing, and he was, like, working out on the beach still. Like, the dude, for being 72 years old, has a good body. Like, you can tell that dude's
He's got
strong.
an insane bod.
Insane bod. Hot bod.
I want that bod. Remember bod? That was like an axe
Yeah,
competitor.
I do. Oh, was it? Yeah. I guess I never really made that connection, but yeah.
Oh,
I
the
remember.
advertising
That was the
campaign
worst.
for that was just a bunch of dudes like running around doing sports stuff, and then these ladies off to the side would just be like, "I want that bod." And it wasn't because they were athletic guys doing athletic things; it was because they were wearing a fucking body spray, which makes
Yeah, I
you
never
irresistible
really-
because it smells way too strong and everyone hates it.
Yeah, why would you put on body spray like before you go play a game of pickup basketball?
This is mixed.
Like-
This has formed a nice bouquet with all of the sweat coming off of me.
Smells like disgusting human salt and wilted roses. I don't even
These are
know.
some complimentary scents.
I remember never really knowing if it was a body spray or like a sports drink, and I never cared to learn or
You
figure
didn't
it
want
out.
to learn that one.
I guess I kind of
You
knew.
didn't want to learn that one the hard way.
Oh, this tastes like bad.
Oh, tastes bad.
Why did I drink this?
Oh, I can't believe it tastes bad. Thought sports drink tastes bad.
I thought it would taste good. I thought it tastes like berries and energy.
I thought it was weird that I spent like $15 on this for one sports drink, and I had
these 3 ounces
and I had
of
to
sports
spray it
drink.
into my mouth. Oh, tastes bad.
I wondered what that tube in the bottom was for. I understand now. But you gotta understand, my tongue smelled so sweet after
Yeah,
that.
ladies want to kiss that tongue. How good it smells.
Kiss that tongue right on the top of it.
Yeah, not French kiss. Just you stick your tongue out
No.
and they smooch your tongue.
Smooch my tongue like a cartoon. So after Joe... Ooh, sometimes I forget how to read. After Joe falls out, Scott and Julia fall, followed by Ty, then Michelle, and then 45 minutes pass, Sydney falls. Then it comes down to Aubrey and Jason. Two... I don't know. Are they rivals? Are they, like, competing? They're, like, the heads of their alliances?
Yeah, they're kind of representative of the two alliances, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. Jason does this big manly spit, and then Aubrey does the exact same thing immediately after, and Jason just kind of grins. I thought that was a nice little moment between those two. Yeah, there was some mutual
respect between... At least Jason clearly had respect for Aubrey, which he even mentions later in the episode, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Aubrey struggles a little bit, but then she recovers, and then that's when we get our weekly dose of Probst Quote. Probst Quote.
Probst Quote.
Probst Quote. Probst Quote. Get your props in your quotes. Get your quotes in the Probst
Get your
quotes.
Probst quotes here.
Yeah, extra, read all about the Probst quotes.
Yeah, extra, Jeff Probst said a thing.
He said some words on a show where he is paid to say words. He, to Aubrey, yells, "You gotta dig!" I'm not a very good impersonator. That's not a very good Probst impression.
I can't do anything other than him trying to talk dramatically. Wait, no.
That was pretty dramatic, though.
You gotta dig!
That was close. Right. That was alright. Maybe not your best impression. If I got to rate it, forget it.
It's the same yell he does when he says, like, so-and-so wins immunity!
Jason says, from here on out, we're unstoppable. Pretty confident there,
crazy.
Jason.
It's weird. Like, trying.
What could go wrong?
Might as well just play Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now over that. There's just no way anything could possibly...
Nothing's gonna stop us now. I'm not a good singer. At camp, Scott says, Aubrey's done. All right. Jason adds, Aubrey's going home and there's nothing she can do about it. Really, Jason? You think so? Julia tells Scott and Jason that she is fine with voting for Ty because eventually they're gonna have to.
Flush that idol out.
Yeah, fucking... These dudes are the worst. Julia tells Scott and Jason that she's voting Ty... Oh, no, I already read that. The plan is for Jason, Scott, and Julia to be the final three. Fuck them all. Maybe not Julia. She's playing a good game.
She wants to make it to the final three with them because they pissed everyone off.
Yeah. Sydney wants to vote out Scott and suggests bringing Ty into their vote. Aubrey, good player, says that it's possible. So she goes over to Ty and lets him know that they're voting Scott. Ty says that his heart is with the girls, but his head is with the boys. Keeping your pants, Ty. What? Is he thinking about boys a lot, right? Isn't he gay?
Yeah, he is.
All right.
Playing with the Boys by Kenny Loggins. There's a montage over it.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. It was like 4 minutes long of just like Ty looking over the ocean, contemplating and how to play the game. And then there were some birds and a sunset, and it's just like, this seems like a deviation from the usual way of...
with the boys.
So the plan is at this point for the boys, which is Jason, Scott, and Julia, to vote Ty, and for the girls, which is everybody else, to vote for Scott. That's what we assume is happening. Scott and Jason assume they still have a super idol.
Wait, when you said vote for Ty, did you mean vote for Aubrey?
I might have meant that. Scott believes that they're not going anywhere. He's pretty confident they're not going anywhere.
Even if they vote him out, they're just going to play the super idol after the fact to save him.
Yeah, no problemo. They're safe.
Hey, forget about it.
Forget about it. I wonder, though, could they have played the super idol with the immunity idol they won, would that have been allowed? Because it just says, I think it just says, when you combine two idols. I don't know if it says hidden immunity idols.
No, it has to be hidden immunity idols. You can't do it with the immunity idol that you won. That would be way too powerful.
No. That would be very powerful.
It was already overpowered.
Yeah. It was, we talked all about Chekhov's gun last week. This was a good use of that plot device with the super idol this season.
Oh, you forgot an important detail, which is that Jason gives Scott his immunity idol.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. But Thomas, you know what it's time for?
Wildlife. Wildlife.
Can't see right now because this is an audio podcast, but Thomas is dancing hardcore right now. Throwing arms all over the place, bobbing his head.
Do this!
Let's do it. There's not a lot. There's a bird.
There's like a lizard
there's
at
a lizard.
one point.
There's some more birds. There's a snake and there's a monkey. Pretty much your default wildlife shots.
Our segment bumper was infinitely more exciting than anything that was on that show.
All right, so that was wildlife shots.
Wildlife. Wildlife.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it play all the way to the end. This is the most production I've ever put into this show, so I'm going to get my money's worth. So then we get to tribal council. Scott says that they tried to make a deal with Aubrey, but she never responded. Yes, she did. She said, yeah, sounds good. She didn't say that, but she pretended to say that. And then she was like, nah.
They were trying to make a deal, like that game show, the dating game.
That was based on that movie, Driving Miss Daisy. Ty says, I don't boast in my personal life, but this is war. I'm committed to these guys, referring to Scott and Jason. He says he has to advance his own game. Smooth move, Ty.
One part of that statement is true.
Yes. Scott and Jason talk about how great Aubrey is, which seemed disingenuous for the most part. Like, I think they were like, hey, yeah, she's a good player, but let's get her the fuck out.
Yeah, Jason says when they show him holding up, shocker, he voted for Aubrey. When they show him holding up his vote, he says, this is only because you're such a good competitor. Which I thought was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, I wonder how much editing goes into Jason's character of being like this big macho man who's like a big meanie.
Yeah, he's always going, oh yeah!
Oh yeah! Step into a Slim Jim. Everybody is allowed to bring one item from home, and Macho Man Jason brought
Macho
Slim
Man
Jims.
Jason. Yeah, he brought some Slim Jims, and I thought it was weird that he kept referring to everybody that he was talking to as Hogan on it. He was like, Hogan!
All of his votes don't count because he just writes Hogan, but he doesn't know anyone else's name, so...
Well, I didn't notice the $1 Million Man on here, so I thought I'd vote out Hulk Hogan.
So then they go to vote, and Jeff comes back with the votes and says if anyone wants to play an idol, now's their time to do so. Julia whispers to Ty to play his idol. Scott's saying don't, and he doesn't. Ty knows something the other people don't. Jeff reads the votes. You got Ty, one for Aubrey, one for Scott. Ty, Aubrey, Scott, Scott, and Scott. Then Scott looks over to Ty for the idol, but Ty refuses.
This was painful. Silent eyebrow raising, and then eventually Ty just says no.
No, sorry.
Scott shuffles off.
God, what a great move. But
with an idol in his pocket. Jason's idol is gone.
Yeah. I think he could have still given it to Jason. Because I don't think you're technically out of the game until your torch is snuffed.
Huh.
So I think he could have. I think he might just not have realized
that's
it.
probably what it was.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Know.
Maybe you might not be able to, but Yeah, like you can pat someone on the shoulder as you're leaving, or like shake someone's hand before your torch gets snuffed. It would be easy to swap who owns that idol, but he didn't do it, so it doesn't matter. So this week I also got into Ponderosa, the like post-merge show. It's a pretty pointless show for the most part. It's fun to watch though. I told you about it last season. It's decent. There's some funny things. It's just like a bunch of people hanging out. Neil and Nick spend a lot of time hanging out because they're the first two there. And Neil says about Nick, he's a man of simple tastes. Chicken and rice, missionary style. And then later he says,
Damn!
yeah, he's pretty
Neil
good.
just
I like Neil.
drive the fuck out of him.
Oh, he's great. Neil is great. I like him even more.
I wish he could have stuck around.
Now that he's on the show more. I know he made clear that he wants to come back and play. And I'm
They'll
sure he
probably
will
let him.
come back and play another season. Yeah. And then later Neil says, "I have a crush on Nick, and I don't even like guys." But yeah, that's fair. He's pretty,
Attractive
I
man.
guess. Yeah, he was on the Attractive Tribe. Nick's
Yeah, the
episode.
tribe's attractive,
each-
strong, and smart. You know the title of this? Attractive, strong, smart?
Yeah. Survivor ass.
I think we need to run this one through focus group testing again. This acronym is not up to par.
I think it's great. I don't know why they didn't call it that.
This is even worse than when you suggested Survivor 69.
No, but Survivor 69 is a great idea for a season. It's all the people who took 6th place versus all the people who took 9th place.
It's almost as
a
good as
great
my
idea.
Survivor
And they all
420.
constantly do oral sex on each other.
Yeah.
Which is it's just Survivor with 4 people who all took 20th
It's
place.
someone hand step ropes the sheet explaining what the immunity challenge is going to be, and every time it's just a drawing of people 69ing each other. It's like, this is really getting old. I'm trying to operate
I
like
like
a
this. I
professional
like
here, but
this
you are
picture.
making it impossible and turning this into a hostile work environment.
I will take this home with me and do with it what I will in my own personal time. But this is professional. This is Survivor.
I'm
Let's
reporting
discuss
you to
our next season of Survivor.
I'm
ass.
reporting you to CBS HR for sexual harassment.
So Nick's episode is surprisingly heavy. They didn't really get into this when he was on Survivor, which I know he still is, but it gets more into how it's really hard for him to genuinely connect with people. And it was like, okay, I can kind of feel for you.
Oh,
now.
like maybe he's like autistic and not a sociopath like I had originally suggested.
Both of those scenarios make a lot of sense. Okay. There are flashes of autism, I think, in him, but there's also flashes of
Sociopathy.
Yeah. And his personality, I wouldn't be surprised by either. I think he's just a weird dude who's just like so pretty that he's been given everything, so it's hard for him to be like, I don't know, try.
Yeah,
anything.
he's got the looks get through. Give him the first impression that he needs, and then you notice the weirdness.
Yeah. Then in Debbie's episode, this is important. I told you before we started recording, there was an important game mechanic, or not mechanic, but a part of this. In Debbie's episode, she says that Aubrey, should she make it to the final 3, lost her vote. Debbie's not going to vote for Aubrey if she's in the final 3. Which I don't know if that's going to hold.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that's what she said as of now.
Debbie proved herself to be pretty stubborn with that sort of thing, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if she stuck with that.
Especially if Joe ends up in Ponderosa, I think he could convince her to vote for Aubrey. Nick says that they want to vote Debbie out of Ponderosa, which I thought was funny. During Scott's episode, it's revealed that he lost 46 pounds on the island. He was there for a little less than 30 days.
He was looking pretty
lost
trim
46
by the end
pounds.
of that.
Yeah. At the start of the show, he weighed something like 312 pounds.
And it wasn't like he was fat or anything. He's just 7 feet
No,
tall.
he's just fucking huge, yeah.
So he got down back to probably his playing weight.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like 270 or 280 when he got voted out, and he was like, "Oh, I haven't weighed that much since I was playing." I was like, "What? How do you?" I mean, well, yes, he's a giant. Of course, he weighs that much. He also talks in his episode about how Nick sleeps like a robot. He would just like lay down with like his hands across his chest and like close his eyes, and then 8 hours later, or however long he would sleep, he would open his eyes and uncross his arms and just get up, just stationary the entire time he was sleeping. It's like, of course he was.
That's
He's
hilarious.
so weird.
I have to say, honestly, I still kind of like Scott. I just think he committed too hard to playing the bad guy and was kind of stuck with that role. But I like Scott.
I like Scott as a person. I didn't like his gameplay
No, I didn't either.
for the last couple of weeks.
It rightfully got him voted out.
But most likely, season 40 will be Heroes vs. Villains
I'd love to see
2,
him
and I
back.
can see him
Love
coming
to see him
back.
back.
He will absolutely come back, yeah. He and Neil, and probably Aubrey, I would say, are the top 3 people who would come back. Granted, I would be cool with pretty much anyone coming back from this season.
Yeah.
Maybe not Nick. I don't think Nick would come back.
Debbie, I'm good without.
Yeah, no, Debbie, I think, will come back. A few years ago, they had somebody named Philip Shepard, and he was just the worst. He was annoying, not good, but super confident, and he got pretty far through the game. And they like brought him back a season or 2 later just to be like, hey, because every episode he was like the most talked about person on the show on Twitter. And it's just like, well, we kind of have to bring him back. He's really good for TV, even though he's annoying and not a good player. Last little thing from Ponderosa, Scott reads a letter his sister had written him while he was on the island. It's revealed that she has cancer and is not feeling great about it. He says something along the lines of like, she's never really admitted that she might lose this battle until this letter. So that was really hard to see. Yeah, that's it. Didn't really mean to end that on a bummer, but
I feel for you, Scott, and Scott's sister.
Yeah, I hope that all works out. Yeah. Predictions. Who's winning this thing in your mind?
I think Aubrey's gonna win.
You know what, dude? I gotta say it is Aubrey. She's fought through more than anybody else game wise.
Heavy winners out of material right now.
Yeah. I would be fine with anyone else winning except for Joe because he hasn't really done anything, or Jason because he's kind of a dickbag, but also like I don't know, he's generally like outside of the game he seems like an alright person. So I wouldn't be too upset, but at this point it's just like future all-stars compete for the win. Immunity, who's on your I don't know. Who have you got to win this thing?
The immunity?
To win the immunity, next immunity, sorry.
Boy. I'm gonna say Aubrey. She's been getting closer and closer.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be Sydney. She hasn't won immunity yet, has she?
She hasn't. She's gotten close.
She's gotten really close. Scott's out of the picture, so not that he's done great in individual immunities, but she's probably the strongest person left in the game. So and I think there's going to be more physical, well, maybe not, because she's like a fucking bodybuilder, so that maybe they'll try to steer away from that. But no, I think her time has come to win
Yeah,
immunity.
I would be pleased
Next-
if she did. I picked her for last week, so.
Yeah. Next out, who's your
Jason.
guy or girl? Jason. Okay. I'm sticking with Joe. This group of players, especially now that we're getting to the end, seems they really respect good gameplay, and Joe has flown under the radar for too long to stick around much longer, and he doesn't seem like he's going to make a big move at any point, and he doesn't really have the numbers to do so.
My counter to that would be that he is on the right side of the alliance spectrum right now, and I don't really see any.
Okay.
I think Jason is a bigger threat, and they want to get rid of him because he's disgruntled at this point.
Okay, yeah. I think, we've been wrong almost every time about who's going to be voted out next, but, what are we now? One of the 7 people who are left are going to be voted out. So the odds are getting better that we're right.
We should say for the record, I did win a point for this last week.
Yes, Thomas, you won a point. Thomas won a point.
Ty's face turn back to the right side.
Yep. So Thomas is winning now. Thomas has 4 points. I've got 3 points.
Yeah, buddy.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm
Sorry.
fine with it. You know what? I'm really okay with it. There's 3 or 4 episodes left. I'm only down by
just
1.
Real quick, just real quick though. If I'm winning, what does that mean that you're doing?
I am behind. I won't say I'm
Oh no, that's the
losing
word I
because
was
the
looking
game's
for.
not
I'm glad
over.
you said it.
So
if that makes
speaking
me, if I'm
of
a winner,
winning,
what would that make you?
all right, Donald. Speaking of winners and losers, the Challenge Rivals 3 starts in 9 days, or 10 days. I don't know how to count days. Starts next Wednesday, and this year they're doing something a little different. They're doing a fantasy league, which I emailed
I saw
you
the
about,
link.
right?
I just haven't
Did you
signed
get
up
that?
for it yet.
Okay. So me and Thomas are going to play. There's like a Did You Watch Survivor Last Night pool that we started. So if you want to get in on that, email us. Did you watch Survivor last night? Nope. Did you watch last night at
There we go.
gmail.com? There's no Survivor in the email. Did you watch last night at gmail.com? Email us that. Let us know that you want to play. My sister's going to play with us probably. Our friend Morgan's going to play with us from Central Michigan University. She lives in like Boston now or something.
I
Who
might be
cares?
able to get.
Just kidding, Morgan,
I might
you're
be able
great.
to get new show superfan Sam Powell, my cousin, who will probably be
Oh,
guest hosting
yeah.
sometime in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, that would be cool. So if you're into that, let us know. We'll send you the link.
And if you're not into that,
and
your
then
whole
we can all-
perspective is whack. Maybe you'll love us when we fade to black.
Good. It's kind of weird. I'm not 100% sure how this fantasy league is going to work. Like, all it had me do was pick 2 people, and then there's like different point values that you can win throughout the episode. So I'm not sure what they're doing with it, but it seems like it might be fun. Speaking of the challenge, remember to use that hashtag Bananas on Survivor so we can get Johnny Bananas on a future season of Survivor.
What's the buzz, Jake, on the Facebook group? What are they saying about Bananas on Survivor?
You know what? I haven't promoted it on that group recently. I've also hidden that group from my newsfeed
Jake,
on
why?
Facebook because oh buddy, it's a whole lot of stupid people in that group. There's like this one dude, and I think he it lives in Brazil or something, but he's on it constantly. English is definitely not his first language. Which is fine. Like, I'm not going to fault him for that. But he says the weirdest shit. Like, not just broken English, which, again, is fine. But just, like, he'll say things like, oh, man, like, this kid's probably, like, I don't know, 18 or something. He's like, if I was on this season of Real World, I couldn't handle myself around Kayla or something like that. It's like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Also,
it's...
yeah. So just so that we have it on record, the gist of that entire thing, Jake thinks that people that don't speak English as their first language are stupid. That's what Jake said. I just want it on record.
You can put it on record. I put it in the Chicago
Put
Tribune.
it on vinyl.
I think.
Mail it to people in the
Put
Chicago
it on.
Tribune.
Put it on Vine. Put it on Vine. Throw it all over the internet. People, here we go. 6 seconds. People who can't speak English are stupid. That's all I'm saying. Is that so much to ask for everyone to
Jake,
learn
you're
English?
never gonna get a job. No.
For the record, I am kidding, of course.
That's not
why
gonna fit.
would
That's not
you
gonna
need to
fit
speak
6
English?
seconds, Jake.
Fuck. Second Vine. Put another Vine on Twitter. Another Vine. People can speak English or any other
It
language.
was a
It's
joke.
okay. Speak whatever
kidding.
language. It was just a joke. It was just kidding. I'm not racist, you guys.
It was
I'm not
facetious. I was saying it
racist.
facetiously.
Yeah. Speaking of the real world, Christopher, who is the pansexual Mormon this season, because there's one every season. Chris from Real World liked one of our tweets on the Twitter. DYWSLN is that handle.
Which tweet was it?
Oh, it was just like promoting our last episode, and I'd mentioned that we talked about his Mormonism, and he was like, "Oh, cool." Well, he didn't say, "Oh, cool." He just
so
liked
you assume
it.
that he's the one, "Oh, cool,"
Yeah.
and hit like.
Yeah. He also, at one point, said my name on his Periscope while he was watching an episode of Real World that he was on. I said, "What's up?" or something like that, and he said, "Hey, what's up?" and said my name aloud. Mispronounced it, too. So, cool. Also do another podcast called The Crash Test Podcast. The next episode is going to be about Prince. So check it out.
Yeah, I think we've promoted our Twitters enough. I'm gonna promote
Yep.
Wild Hogs, not Wild Hogs, sorry, Old Dogs 2009 again because none of you followed it. Jake did, and I appreciate that. But
I'm glad you said that because I couldn't remember
I've
if I
got
had
some
or not.
I've got some cool updates coming this week. I think
Some
I
prime
think you guys are
content.
gonna like this Travolta Robin Williams centric content.
Some prime hashtag content.
I am hashtag content with this hashtag content.
Ooh, nice. Nice little wordplay. Nice hashtag word, hashtag play.
Hashtag thanks.
We're also on hashtag Facebook. Did you watch Survivor last night? That email again is didyouwatchlastnight@gmail.com. And if you do email us, remember to sign it your pal Jeff Probst. And unless you got anything else, Thomas, I want to say, have a great summer.
Deuces.
My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I won't lose no sleep on that. 'Cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do, 'cause I'll never be with you.
Let's get it started. 3, 2, 1. Oh, did you press it?
Yes, she caught my eye as I walked on by. She could see from my face that I was fucking high, and I don't think that I'll see her again. But we shared a moment that will last till the end. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. to